What the fuck you mean you don't know DJ Moore? You better preach it. Say that. Oh, you better go now.
Welcome to Preach, Kev Preach. We're Rashad. We are the prophets. Here in the episode, another sermon coming at you from 12 Ounce Sports, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you can find us. Welcome to the show. What's going on, Rashad, man?
Man, it's been a good week, man. Cinco de Mayo. Everybody was back out having Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday. That's funny.
Yeah, man. You get Taco Tuesday and Cinco de Mayo on the same day, man. You can't beat that. Then of course, we 1 hour away from the NFL schedule launch. Man, you got UFC coming back this Saturday, man. So, we're not getting back to normal, but we're starting to see things kind of, start to shake out a little bit as far as potential sporting events and stuff kind of start to happen again. So excited about that.
I'm about to say, at least it gives us something. Like like you said, it's all about the trying to find our way back to normalcy, trying to find our way back to getting everything right. And this is the step. Trying to get the NFL schedule out in the next hour. You got people signing here, the draft happening, man. It just come on, something to hold on to.
Oh yeah, man. It seems like it's been a long time, which is, I think it's basically like 50, 60 days since the last NBA game was played. So it's been a while since we had basketball. Of course, no March Madness, but at least other sports like UFC where you can kind of limit you won't have a crowd, but you can kind of limit the amount of people who you can have in a confined space for, all right, the two fighters, a ref, your coach, your cut man, stuff like that. So you can kind of limit that to, some of the state guidelines of what's going on as far as, no more than X amount of people in a certain area, so that's pretty good. And of course, the NFL is saying they're going to start reopening some facilities as well as the NBA. So we're starting to get some good signs of stuff coming back, man. I'm intrigued to see what happens and if we even get basketball. But schedule launch in an hour, man. Let's see who has that early bye week, that late bye week. There's all those little kinks that come with the schedule. No international games this year.
Facts. Did you see? All right, so we are now on camera. Did you see the Super Bowl move the New York Jets made, signing your Hall of Famer? He's not mine. Frank Gore, 40-year-old prehistoric dinosaur, heading to the Jets.
Yeah, when they said they wanted to limit Bell's carries, I thought they were gonna go out and make a move, but they went and got
Freeman,
Frank Gore.
Something.
I'm like Frank Gore. I mean. I guess.
I
mean, he's not a guy I ever considered top 5 in the league as far as best running backs in the game or nothing like that. He'll get into the Hall of Fame just off pure longevity because he's so high up on the rushing yards list. But, I mean, I guess.
Hashtag Hall of Good. That's my boy. Hall of Good. Hey, we need something like that. In lieu of the NFL drafts coming out, the schedule, I had to make me a new purchase. I'm saying, shout out to 47 brand. The brand that's what we all go with, Minnesota Vikings. I see you got the Phoenix Suns on. New cop.
Shout
out you.
Shout out D Book.
Hey, dude. Hey, I had to go make some more purchases, man. When you had the coupons, you just got to keep going. Shout out to the Gamecocks. Had to get that all black fitted, and then had to bring Vermont Catamounts. You know what I'm saying?
Vermont.
American East, stand up.
I was represent Northeast, boy.
I'm trying to tell you, man, we there. But no, further to get them going to the show. First, man, we gotta talk about these quarterbacks and most specifically the backup quarterback. So Cam Newton just came out today and said he will listen to being the backup. He finally is like, when do you come to your senses and say, all right, I'm going to bet on myself. I'm just going to go into the league, and I'm going to go to this team, be the backup, and when my time come. And you put out an article a couple days ago about the best spots for him. I think you named Pittsburgh, you named Seattle. Who Raiders. Who else you name?
And Falcons.
And Falcons.
And Falcons. It's only have the Matt Ryan.
Right. So it's kind of like I feel like those moves. Well, I'll say the Falcons, Seattle, and Seattle Falcons. And what other one? Not the Raiders.
Raiders and Steelers.
Steelers. Those three: Steelers, Falcons, and Seattle. I feel like those are the quarterback get hurt, I can come save the day type of situation. For the Raiders, where I feel like he can go in there and take the job. And if I was him, I know they probably won't do it because they paid Mariota and they got Derek Carr. But those situations he needs to find. So maybe not Atlanta and Pittsburgh, and because of that for him. But if he can find, I don't know, go to name a team who got a quarterback like Jacksonville, who even though I like Gardner Minshew, you go there. Minshew struggle, they're gonna call for Cam Newton's name. Like you need to go in, be the backup, don't say nothing, because they gonna eventually the media and the people they're gonna put you there, and you're gonna be the starter at some point.
Man, you couldn't even Cam with his name, his brand. He can't even go to the Falcons unless it's an injury because people ride Matt Ryan so hard. I'm like, the dude that's been one of the healthiest QBs in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean. He's worked with less than stellar offensive lines and defenses most of his career, but when things are kind of up to par, he can get 10-6. But I mean, my gosh, like you don't have to, people just berate everything that happened is Matt Ryan's fault. Yeah. It's always Matt Ryan's fault. So
if you lose 54-48, Matt Ryan.
Man, so Cam, unless Matt Ryan was to get hurt. Cam couldn't go there because he's a Georgia native. He went to high school in Atlanta. I think he went to Westlake. So, if he was on the Falcons, just like outright sign with them,
mm-hmm.
it'll be turmoil from day one because people as soon as it's week 2, man, put Cam in like, bro, y'all are ridiculous,
right?
Man.
So you're right.
At least a spot like Steelers, Mike Tomlin, he'll be dead. That Big Ben's our guy. We rolling with it. Or you in Seattle, Pete Carroll, he'll dead. That y'all know Rusty guy, we rolling with it, something like that. But Jags or New England Falcons, they'll be calling Cam name immediately. Even Chargers, like with Tyrod and Herbert, they'll let Cam try to leapfrog them.
For real. Hey, for real though. And that's the thing about quarterbacks. Like, all right, so we know Cam Newton probably is not he is a top 32 quarterback. We both will get agree on that. So we know he should be a starter somewhere probably. But like it's really all the COVID stuff and not being able to do physicals, not even having to do the workouts. All that is playing into a role why he's still available in the free agency market. So let's talk about the guys who are on teams.
And something about Cam before we move on too. Like it's the injury stuff. And plus, it's just bad market timing because this is a year where so many guys change teams. And then on top of that, you had what's considered 3 top guys get drafted. So that kind of eliminated some jobs. But if you think about, let's look at like potentially next year, it'll be 8 to 10 jobs open because now you'll still have potentially the Patriots job. What if Breeze retires? What if Raider retires? What if Ben retires? What if Rivers retires? So that's already 5 spots right there, and it's only 2-3 high-end prospects coming out next year in, Fields and Lawrence.
Right.
So, and then what if the Bears' job will be open again next year? The Jazz will be open again next year. So,
Lions,
even Lions. So I think, it's just a bad market timing combined with injury and stuff like that. But, next year, you can even see guys like Andy Dalton get a start spot again just because it will be 8 to 10 jobs open up.
Right. So we listed our top 10 backup quarterbacks. Rashad had his list. I had mine. So yes, we do have a little different variations. So, but in our combined efforts, this is our top 10 backup quarterbacks ranks, and we can get into why we have them where we have them. So number 1, Andy Dalton on the Cowboys signed a 1-year deal. Maybe a couple of days ago. Staying home in Texas. He went to TCU, so he get to back up Dak Prescott. Number 2, Case Keenum. He worked with Kevin Stefanski before. Number 3, Jameis Winston. We talked about that last week with Ross Jackson, who came on a show. Shout out to him. He goes there on a 1-year deal. We got Tyrod Taylor / Justin Herbert because in the last 10 years, if you're a first-round draft pick, you usually start at some point. So we don't know when when that time comes. But Tyrod Taylor was started over Baker Mayfield for about 3 to 4 weeks, and then Baker took over. Number 5, we got Jacoby Brissett. He was a starter last year. Phillip Rivers is signed, and now he's taking over that. Number 6, we got Fitzpatrick and Tua Tagovailoa. So that's the same reason as the Chargers. At some point, Tua will start, and Ryan Fitzpatrick has shown the ability to come off the bench and make a spark. That's why they call him Fitzmagic. See, Fitzmagic, the top 20 quarterback, right? Fitzpatrick, he ranges about 21 to 34, somewhere around there.
Yeah, he has some up and down years. He can be a 10-6 guy one year, take to the playoffs, then the next year, or shoot in week 9 or so, he may throw 4 picks. you gotta go in and bench him. Like that year, Arians kept going back and forth between him and Jameis. Like they both couldn't get right.
Number 7, we got Nick Foles. The reason why we didn't do a slash Trubisky, I'll let you go and say, your reason why you said that, why Nick Foles probably won't start off.
Yeah, I don't think Foles will start because the Bears have already said we're going to go with Trubisky for the most part. I mean, they declined his 5th-year option, so it's kind of like a prove-it year.
Right.
So they're kind of going all in on him. And then the second part of that is Foles has never started an entire season, so I don't think you want to risk putting Foles in to start the year, and then he gets hurt, and now you got to bring in Trubisky, who, his confidence will be shot. You can't say this is the guy all these years, drafted him this high, declined his 5th-year option, then, in camp, Foles beat him out, or you just say, hey, Foles is the starter, and then now after week 7 or 8, Foles goes down and you put Mitch in. I don't think he'll have – I'm not saying he's not a strong-minded guy, but I don't think that's conducive to him being productive, having to come in and follow Foles for like the next 7 or 8 weeks of the season. I don't think that'll be good for his psyche.
Right, and I think this, if we make it a top 10 list, and let's say we thought Foles was a starter for week 1, I don't think Trubisky makes my top 10.
No. Barely. He'll probably barely get on the back end around like that RG3 Brian Hoyer-ish, because like he over Mariota. I
don't know, but Marcus Trashiota might be better than Trubisky, bro. I don't know.
And then I mean, Chase Daniel's out there, but Chase
Daniel's is a good backup because he don't say nothing that he has no threat to take over the starting job. There's no threat. Number 8, we have Brian Hoyer. We know this can be a guy who probably could come in and actually start for the Patriots this year. But they're going to roll with Jarrett Stidham. I would too. Go with the young guy.
Steed.
Number 9, Kyle Allen. Started for Cam Newton when he got hurt last year in Carolina. Ron Rivera, connection base. That's why he in Washington. He can run the offense if Haskins struggle. And then Robert Griffin III, who I believe if Lamar Jackson was to go down, yes, we don't want Lamar Jackson to go down, but with the roster that they have, you might not be as dynamic. You won't be 14-2, but can you be 11-5 or 10-6? Who knows? I mean, you got a great running game, good offensive line, good defense. RG3 can get you. He can get you 8 wins, and your defense can do the rest to get you the 2 or 3 more you need. So, I think Robert Griffin, he could be higher on this list, but I feel like because of the starter to him is such a big drop off, that's kind of why I've had him a little lower.
No, I had him at like 9 or 10 too, just because the biggest thing with the RG3 thing is if Lamar was to go down, Madden curse is real. The offense wouldn't change much because they're basically the same type of guys. So, I mean, Greg Roman, they wouldn't. They can run the same schemes and same playbook. You just have to, get adjusted to this guy's timing and throwing the ball and stuff like that.
Which it shouldn't be that much adjustment.
Yeah.
I mean, Tyrod, Kaepernick, Lamar, Robert Griffin, they all have the same kind of skill set when you talk about running and throwing.
Yeah, so it wouldn't be a big adjustment in my opinion. So that's why I think the Ravens could still be successful if, RG3 stepped in. And just some notable guys we left off. We didn't put A.J. McCarron. We didn't put Flacco's unsigned. So, no, we didn't put Joe Flacco. People.
Taysom Hill,
Boy, oh, no. I don't even think he a QB. Of course, we didn't put Cam Newton because he's a free agent.
Right.
And we damn sure wouldn't put Mason Rudolph or no Devin Hodges. Heck no.
Hey, no, you're not lying about that. I didn't even, honestly, that didn't even come across my head. I would have put, whoever Minnesota backup is, I think it's, I couldn't even tell you. Like, I think, what's the guy who's played for the Rams? a couple years ago. That's a backup for the Vikings. I don't know who the backup for the Falcons either. Like
Yeah, we
Shaw.
left off Blake Bortles,
Ugh.
Matt Moore, just a few names that people want to may think should be on the list, but they aren't. We
Right.
left off Mariota, mediocre. I'm sorry,
Trash Yoda.
but yeah, a lot of guys we left off because they're just not a top 10 backup, honestly.
Right. So a lot of. All right. So people kind of say like, oh, why do you have Winston at 3 over and he's better than Andy Dalton, or why is Case Keenum so high? A lot of people like about Jacoby Brissett. Why he's so low. So kind of one of the reasons why like they are valuable and where they rank. Where they rank. So Dalton, let's keep in mind that he was a guy with an impressive track record as a starter, and we talking about a backup quarterback. We want somebody who won. And this is why it's going to be hard for Cam Newton to be a backup because of the persona, the ego that he has, that he's a superstar. So the media going to make him a superstar no matter what, right? So I think a lot of guys like him, like just like Melo. So Dalton is number one because he's low maintenance. I think having that as a backup quarterback is probably the best thing. You don't want somebody who's getting all the attention, which is why I still believe to this day that's why Colin Kaepernick never got the job. Even though we can point to the criticism of everything about that situation, but we talked about the football side, the media would have been too much in the room, and that's probably why a good reason why he didn't get the backup job. This is why you see Dalton's and Case Keenum's always get a lot of jobs, or those guys and Nick Foles, those guys always get jobs because they're low maintenance. And when they come in the game, I imagine Andy Dalton, who on this list, I would say has the best weapons around him. I mean, you can argue the Saints, you can also argue the Chargers, but I think Cowboys with CeeDee Lamb there now with Cooper, Gallup, and of course Zeke, who I mean you can top 5, top 6 back in the game. The old line, Dak gets hurt, who he hasn't got hurt before, so knock on wood. But Dalton come in, I don't think your chances of making the playoffs or making the Super Bowl diminish.
Yeah, I mean, well, I have Dalton number one, not because he's low maintenance. I think Andy is still a capable starter in the league, so that's why I think he's number one. In the event Dak was to go down, Dalton could step in, still get you 9, 10, maybe even 11 wins because the team is stacked at almost every position with talent. So Dalton is, I mean, I was looking at like his first 5 years when they were making the playoffs and they had talent surrounding him. Dude won 50 games, and his INTs were a little bit high, but for the most part, he was a stout quarterback. And if you look at his first 4 years compared to Dak right now, they're eerily similar. Both 40 wins. They thrown the ball about the same amount of time. Dak is just more efficient, completing almost 66 compared to 62, 1,000 more yards, 2 less TDs, but the interceptions are basically almost in half, 66 to 36. So, right. I mean, if you look at stuff like that, Dak is a more efficient Andy Dalton, just with a higher ceiling because he runs the ball. But Dalton being on the Cowboys is just a good insurance policy. He can push Dak, in the quarterback room to help him learn some stuff because when you're around 9, 10 years in the league, you've seen different things, different coverages. So, let's just say Dalton's picking up the McCarthy playbook faster than Dak is. He can kind of help coach Dak along. And he's already came out and said Dak is the starter.
Right,
so
right.
He's not even he's not even competing for the job. It's nothing like that. He knows what he's there to do. Mm-hmm. And if they need him, he can step in.
Ready.
So,
right.
so to me, that's why Andy's number one because he's still, depending upon what team it is, he's a capable starter. Right,
and I think that goes the same for the next two guys like Case Keenum and Jameis Winston. Yes, Case Keenum, you might not view him as the greatest quarterback, and Winston's better. I mean, probably so. But let's look at who he got. So this is the same offensive coordinator he had when he went 13-3 with the Minnesota Vikings, led the team to a championship game. So can he do it? And it's all about what's around you. Cleveland Browns. I mean. Can they bring it back with OBJ, Landry, and you got Chubb and Kareem Hunt? The offensive line is built. And we talk about this all the time. Like Cleveland Browns had maybe at least an A offseason when it comes to fixing your needs and trying to find the value in guys. And, with Myles Garrett back and there's a Ward another year, like Baker Mayfield. Well, first, let me ask you this. Do you think Baker Mayfield? Oh, the percentage of thing. Do you think he could be a bust? Because
It's pretty high
because
because
yeah,
like
because he don't have the leadership qualities to be a quarterback, or for franchise quarterback, should I say? And it's like we know Case Keenum has that ability. Like he might not have the talent of these other guys, but the IQ, everything else, like he's on point with it. And I don't know. I don't think Baker or Case Keenum is that big of a difference on this team.
like I'm gonna bring up something that was kind of going crazy on Twitter. Uh, Dan Orlovsky was saying like if you put the recent quarterbacks in a draft, he would still take Sam Darnold number one out of the last 2-3 drafts.
Mm.
I think if Sam Darnold was the guy taken by the Browns, they would be in a way better position than they are than with Baker. And this is coming from a guy who I like Baker. I have him in a lot of fantasy leagues, dynasty leagues, all kind of stuff.
Time to trade.
So like coming into this past year, just knowing that from college he was an accurate guy.
Mm.
You have Landry and Odell. I believe in his upside, but he regressed from year one to year two. Whether that's because of locker room issues, Freddie Kitchens, coaching style, things like that, he did regress. So I think going into year three with another new coach, I mean, you've already been through Hugh, Freddie, and now Stefanski. That's increasing his bust potential. No matter how talented you think he is, his bust potential is starting to increase by all these changes with the roster. But I think the Browns would be in a better position if they had Darnold. But you can't go back and redo what you've already done. So you do have Baker now. If something happens with Baker, you have Keenum, who has Stefanski as his QB coach in Minnesota. They have a good track record. So at least with what Stefanski is trying to accomplish, same I said about Dawson, at least he can help coach Baker along with the terminology, knowing what's open, what's not open, how to look certain things off and stuff like that.
Exactly. And a lot of flack on this on the Jacoby Brissett situation. What are your views on Jacoby? Because to me, I thought he got the chance, and I didn't see anything that sparked he can be a franchise quarterback. I didn't see anything that said let's pay the man, which that's why he got the $15 million to be. That was insurance for them to at least they have a guy if they had to. But we heard about the rumors about them going to draft a quarterback, and then they obviously signed Phillip Rivers. But it's kind of like, can you really give him a fair assessment for what he had? I mean, he got one of the best offensive lines in the league. The running game, I mean, Marlon Mack was pretty good last year. Now you add Jonathan Taylor, that'd be crazy. But we know the Colts didn't have the receiving core like Andy Dalton would have coming in, or a Case Keenum would have, or even Jameis Winston when you have Michael Thomas and Kamara. So he's a guy that's going to have T.Y. maybe. If he's healthy. But you know what I'm saying? So like
you never know what on TY was.
I'm trying to tell you. But it's kind of like, all right, so is it a fair assessment that I'm knocking him down because I don't think he can be that. I don't know. I don't trust Jacoby. If my starter go down, I really don't trust him that much to come in and go to work. I feel like, obviously the Kyle Allens and the Brian Hoyers, I know I do trust Jacoby more than them because I think he got more of a skill level. But like a Nick Foles, like who'd you rather have? And when we got him 5 and 7, but it's like a Bear Nick Foles versus an Eagle Nick Foles was two totally different things, right? So is that fair for Jacoby, or it's kind of like, I mean, a lot of people talking about something. We had him way too low. He should be above Andy Dalton, and he's our number one.
Yeah, I remember last year we were having a discussion about some teams. Are they real? Are they not? And stuff like that. I think it was with Rudy. Shout out Rudy. Shout out Sweet the League as well. So I know we were talking about Jacoby then, and I wasn't really high on him. Like I don't think he's like Nick Foles. He's not a 16-game starter. That's just not what he. That's not what he is. He's not a franchise quarterback. But the Colts did the right thing. Once Luck retired, out of nowhere, you had to keep your insurance policy of 2 years, giving whatever guaranteed money he needs. And to me, last year, early on, Jacoby played fairly well. Lost a close one against the Chargers. I think he was like 190 yards, 2 touchdowns. But he lost a close game against the Chargers. And then they went and played Tennessee, the Falcons. He played pretty good in those games. They won those. And then a little while after that, he kind of started to slowly dip a little bit as far as, completion percentage wise, and he was going to like the lower 60s to 50s a few games. So, he's not really a guy that can win you a shootout.
Right, we know that.
I mean, then as far as like game managing, he can do that, but only to a certain extent.
Right.
So, if you tell me I got Rivers for 12 games, I need Jacoby to come in and do my last 4 and then get me a wild card playoff win, I'll take that. For about 4 to 6, 7 games, I can handle Jacoby, but for like a whole season, I couldn't do it.
I'm with you. I mean, he's kind of.
It's like same to Nick Foles. Like if you're gonna give me 3 to 5 weeks of Nick Foles,
he can win the Super Bowl.
with Doug Peterson, with Matt Nagy, I'll take that.
He might win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I had the Jazz win the division last year. No one dang on well, this man never finished the doggone season.
Hey, funny. You know what? You just said something. That was the terrible bet I placed on the Jaguars last year. Thinking that Nick Foles can't finish 16 games. What was I thinking? Oh my God! I'm just giving away money.
I think his max is like 10. Like I think regular season his max is like 10. Then if you combine like a few playoff games, I think he's still at like 11 or 12. So
man, that's a terrible bet by me. That's Scott Van Pelt. Bad bets by me. That's ridiculous. Why did I do that? Doesn't make any sense. I mean, yeah. So I think all these quarterbacks, like, they're gonna be so valuable, and even wherever Cam Newton lands, it's kind of like at some point we know a starter's gonna go down. I mean, how many seasons where they don't? We saw Rivers go down Big Ben go down last year. We've seen Nick Foles go down. We've seen Breeze go down. So at some point it's going to happen. Somebody, Jimmy G, ACL 2 years ago. Somebody. And if you realize these top team guys that we have, somebody's going to come in and step in. And can you sink or swim? And that's going to be the underlying of your team, what's around them, and can they do enough?
Yeah, I think out of 32 teams, we know for sure there's one team that won't sign Cam, and that's the Redskins. Ron Rivera will not waste his second chance.
No, and I don't understand why. I mean, and you talk about the QB market, like, that's perfect. Like, if you're given a second chance in life, no matter what it is, sports, like job, if you're getting a second chance, you're not going to do the same mistakes you did. And I'm not calling Cam Newton a mistake because he 15-1 one season MVP, but it's like
outlier.
Fair enough. But it's like I'm not gonna go through that again because I got fired. It's not. The Panthers weren't even that bad. Now, granted, it was more about the owner coming in and stuff like that. But you talk about, I'm not going to waste my second chance on the same guy again. Like, you going, like, that's why like you see backups go places. Like, Dalton going to Jaguars wouldn't surprise me, but it's Dalton with Jay Gruden.
Because Jay Gruden,
right,
yeah.
Connection. That's a connection base. We seen. That's why Nick Foles go to the Bears.
Nick Foles,
right? Matt Nagy with Doug Peterson. So we've seen connections, but nobody's going to risk their life and say, I'm over here. I had you for 10 years. Come on back. It's not going to happen.
No, it doesn't happen like that. And I'm not sure why people don't realize that. That's why when the Redskins made a trade, they got Allen, not Cam, because he's right. he's low maintenance and
he's not my guy.
And then Ron saw that. All right, the few games they had together, they were competitive for the most part in Carolina. They were competitive. So at least now you have that illusion where this guy isn't going to drum up, the community of like a Cam and say, forget Haskins, we want Cam. And Allen won't drum up that kind of, media attention. It'll be, okay, well, both guys can go into camp. Let's see what happens with the QB job. Does Haskins win it? Does Allen win it? Let's see what happens. And when Haskins does win it, if he has to get pulled, you got Allen who can come in
and do it right
and do a few things, because Rivera's stable his defense. When you got that beast Chase Young and some other guys on that defense, they'll keep teams, relatively under 25, 26 points. So if you can just put up, about 21, 23, 24 yourself, you can probably win you a couple games and get to about 6-10, 8-8, depending upon how your schedule falls.
Oh yeah, Chase Young, coming. So speaking of schedule, so it's already rumored about a couple games so far. First off, the way the rumors are set off for week 1, you talk about can't miss CTV. Tampa Bay going to New Orleans. We have Texas playing Kansas City. Green Bay playing Minnesota, and that's just all week one rumors so far. Like, man, I already got my popcorn popping, drinks pouring. Like, I'm ready. Like, and yes, the schedule will come out in 30 minutes. So we're gonna find out where everybody play and when you play somebody, how much will the COVID affect when you play certain teams, because if you're playing, how the schedule works, like Minnesota plays at Tampa Bay, at New Orleans, they're probably gonna have that back-to-back weeks, so that way they don't have to travel and go back and forth and get infected by the virus or whatever like that. So that's gonna be interesting to see. No international games. It's kind of sad for the people over there in London, because they don't get to see their Jacksonville Jaguars this year with that rebuilding sorry team they got now. But either way, stuff you're excited for this year, man. For something you may have seen that was projected to be a game.
Yeah, week one, that's gonna be. They always try to make sure week one, is a big one, and then we know, over the last couple of years they've started to put divisional games on like week 16, week 17, so you guys can't start resting. Like the season still means something towards the end.
Right.
So, of course, that week one Brady Breeze is gonna be a highly touted matchup. You got two of the top 10 ever, of course, the GOAT and Brady. But to me, that matchup is kind of losing some luster because, if they don't really get a full training camp or OTAs in,
fair enough.
Both of them are in their 40s, man. I understand, Breeze has been in his situation way longer, so, he don't have to get that much familiarity. But, Brady with new coach, new weapons, all you can do is, watch tape and you sneaking in gyms, trying to work out, all that kind of stuff, man. So, I'm not sure how much chemistry or familiarity he'll have with his guys. So, but again, with everybody in the same situation, so I guess it won't be that bad. But it's kind of losing a little bit of luster to me. But I think it still could be a good game.
Yeah, I'm pretty interested to see what are the week one matchups, because and also what are the schedule losses. Those always happen every single year. You can find where
back to backs.
You go play at Seattle. Now you got to play at Rams. And it's like, okay, well, that's bullcrap. Because now when you go home, you got your division opponent. So it's all stuff like that. You're gonna have those up and downs. Who has the easy schedule toward the back end, front end? Your surprise team last year, the 49ers, had a easy schedule. Was it toward the back or toward the front?
No, it was the front.
Front.
And
then it was kind of hard.
Their first 8 and 9 were people were penciling in. I think I had them like 8 or 9 and 0, and then the last couple of them, they were getting Seattle twice and teams like that.
And then you got the Jets last year, who we said, man, they might go 0-8. And then you like, well, they might finish 8-8, because that's how bad the thing was. I think they finished with 7-9 last year, so it's pretty close. So we're gonna see that. But all right, so I kind of want to ask you this: no matter what the schedule shows, like no matter when they play somebody, what time, the over under lines came out for a couple teams, for the whole league, whatever. So, what team? Give me a team or two that you're gonna take the over no matter what.
Well, I'm taking the over, and I'm going to go ahead and saying they're my surprise team this year already. Denver Broncos.
Okay.
I believe in Drew Lock, Judy, Sutton, Fant, Gordon, Lindsey, Fangio, a second year with that defense. I think they could be pretty good. So I'm looking at Denver probably getting 10 wins, and they're implementing the wild card, the 7th team. I got Denver as a wild card team because we know Kansas City taking that division.
I'm about to say so the line is 7.5. I got this from CBS Sports, and you said they might get 10. I like it. We're gonna see the schedule. I mean, obviously we can take stuff back because, like I said, it's kind of like no matter what, you're gonna take that 7.5. For me, if I'm taking it over, I'm taking. You know what? It's 6, and I think that's kind of too low. Not too low, but from what they're coming off of, and that's the Miami Dolphins.
I knew it.
I'm taking that over. Like, this team tried to tank last year and won 5 games. So imagine the second year where they gonna buy into the system. You got your quarterback for the future. You brought in weapons. You brought the defense in. You brought pieces now. You got one of the best secondaries in the game when you brought Xavier Howard, and then you got Byron Jones, you got a first round draft pick. What's my boy name? Noah Budaba from Auburn. Yeah. Like, you got, so you good. Like, the Dolphins, man, 6. That's all you're gonna give me? I'm putting my money on the line. I'm putting the money out there. I don't care.
Man, Dolphins could be the team that could win a division.
They might win 11 games. 12. I
because
don't
you look.
care.
I mean, we all trust Bill, but you got to still think about what are the Pats putting out their roster wise this year, especially at QB, and then Bills, your team from last year, they will not sneak up on anybody this year. I
Right. I like Bills. I like Bills still.
Yeah.
I like it.
what they did draft wise. I like getting Diggs and giving Josh Allen a 1-2 with Diggs and John Brown. I like that. Of course, we like Singletary. You a big Sean McDermott fan, so it's like.
Right.
But the only thing about it is they won't surprise teams how they did last year. So I think they can still win 9 games, but that division could be a tight race coming down to the end.
All they gave me was 6.
Yeah, you got to take that.
Take
Yeah,
it.
like a team that was tanking got 6. A team that's not tanking anymore added vets and weapons. You got to take the over on that.
Gotcha.
And one more I like the Colts too, man. Because the Titans, they won't catch anybody off guard. The Texans made a whole lot of changes, but O'Brien is known to have a high floor and high ceiling of 9-7. And then you have the Jags with what you gonna do, brother? Minshew Mania down there.
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do when Minshew Mania runs wild on you, run into that top pick in the draft? That's what they doing.
Facts.
So I think the Colts can beat their over as well. So Denver and the Colts will be my 2 safest bets, along with your Miami Dolphins.
I'm gonna give you time to look at it. I'm gonna ask you, no matter what the schedule is, what's the team that can take the under, right? So I'm gonna give you time to look at that. But for me, my second
Patriots.
team. What is the Patriots over?
9?
9?
9 or 9.5.
It's like how much do we how much of knowing what you know about Bill Belichick? How much do you say I don't care? I'm all in. Like we like even if Tom Brady went down, 11 wins. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, the Patriots they're over. They're at about like 9.5, I think. So even if it's 8.5, I still don't think that's pretty tough, man. Because
the truth, man.
Their division got better, man. So
the
Patriots, the Patriots are a team that
it's not
with so much uncertainty. I can't just lock them in and say they're going to clear. They're over.
You're right. Another team I got over before I give you my under. The Chargers, 7.5.
Oh yeah, we going all AFC.
AFC West, but we AFC over here now. Team AFC. But yeah, I think 7.5. What they did, I think this team can be a top 5 defense. I think they had the blueprint for a rookie scale quarterback. Like even if Herbert comes in, and I don't think Herbert that guy, but even if Herbert comes in or Tyrod Taylor, it doesn't matter. Can they do enough? I think they can. With that defense and the weapons, I mean, we're going to see the schedule, but 7.5, this team, year before was 12-4, had a bad season this year. They have always been up and down. So I think this could be an up year. And even if it's an average year, that's 8-8, that's better than 7.5. So I'll take that bet.
Man, I got to get NFC some love real quick, man. They have the Carolina Panthers, CBS Sports we're looking at. They have the Panthers at 5.5. I'll take
Which
that
one you
over,
doing?
man.
You taking the over? I'm taking the under.
On Panthers 5.5?
On Panthers, I think Panthers is the worst team in the NFC.
I think it's Redskins.
Like, all right, so we talked about this when the draft started, right? Remember I said this? I said, whoever they draft at 7 is a top 5 player on the team. Like, Nate. All right, so
because like
McCaffrey, Moore.
Yeah, like I want to take up too much time on. I mean, I'm supposed to get to too, man. But you got Teddy who won't lose you games.
He's not gonna win you with either. That's the thing.
Yeah,
McCaffrey can win you. McCaffrey can win you the game. Put it in his hands.
Offensively, Teddy, DJ Moore, Samuel McCaffrey. Now, I would hesitate to take that over because one injury, they
over.
They are done, and the defense is basically patchwork right now. So that's why I can see why they are at 5.5.
Right,
because
yeah.
they can't stop anybody. You lost Kuechly, Olsen, like all your vets are out of there. So new rookie head coach, but I just feel like, man, 5.5 is kind of low.
I just think that
but the division is what's gonna kill them.
Right, but it's like everywhere Matt Rule has gone, that first year
struggle.
And that's my argument for that one. Before we go on commercial break, we kind of want to just shout it out, but pay respects to the Don Shula family in the sports world. He died at the age, I think, 90.
90, yeah.
90. So Don Shula, man, you talking about one of the greatest coaches in my opinion. He got the most wins of all time. He battled. He was a top coach in every era, like from 60 to all the way to the 90s. So Don Shula, RIP.
Man, as somebody who likes the Patriots, man, he has the only undefeated season in NFL history, man.
Only undefeated season. So we're going to do a moment of silence, and then we're going to head into a commercial break.
That's what's needed to get to that next level. I'm Rob Pennell, and I'm going to teach you how to be an offensive machine.
All right, man, we back. We're gonna get into a segment called "Pass or Shoot." We've done it before. Basketball talk. We know. Pass. We're not messing with this particular topic. Shoot. We believe it to be true. So I kind of want to. All right, here we go. Anthony Davis. In a general manager take, Anthony Davis, you would take him over Dirk Nowitzki.
Oh yeah, man, that was a crazy debate we had on Twitter too, man. Like, we know greatness is defined by skill set and your accolades, what you accomplish on the court. Mm-hmm. So we know, of course, in the annals of history, at this point, Dirk is greater than Anthony Davis. But when you're talking about as a GM point of view, talent, what they can do skill set wise, all that kind of stuff, how to build around them, I'm leaning AD. I get 25 and 11. He can pass. Mm-hmm. I mean, phenomenal defender. He gets you about 2 blocks a game, 3 blocks a game. Self-guard a pick and roll. Of course, people going to say, oh, he's always injured. I mean, well, that's technically not true because he's played about 80-something% of his games, 82, I think, maybe something like that.
82, 83%, yeah.
Yeah, so technically he's not always injured because this past season he was shut down because of the trade rumors. And really only 2 other years, maybe 3, he kind of had like some knick-knack stuff that kind of made him miss some games. But for me, if I'm a GM, you give me the pick, they're on the board, I'll take Anthony Davis every time.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. The Lakers, Anthony Davis is having a better season than any Dirk Nowitzki has ever had, including the MVP season. And a lot of people want to say about winning and leadership. So I'm gonna shoot this all the way because I believe Anthony Davis is a better player than Dirk Nowitzki. You can like you mentioned, the Davis is gonna give me 25 points, and he's gonna give me top-notch defense. And when you talk about winning and losing, okay, you really can only compare. You only can compare when the stuff makes sense. Like you can compare Kemba versus Kyrie, Charlotte and Cleveland before LeBron got there because of the stages. How far can each go individually as the guy? And Anthony Davis got drafted to the Pelicans, who just sold their team not too long ago. But before he got there, New Orleans is a football team. The football owner runs the basketball team. Like they don't have. Obviously, there's a reason why the Saints are good and the Pelicans are not. Like they don't have that cachet in the NBA yet. Then you talk about ownership. Is Mark Cuban not a top 3, maybe number 1 owner in the league? And and what he's done, he's a billionaire for a reason. He's a one of the brilliant minds in anything. Like that's how he got his money. Like from what I think my computers or something he did, but Shark Tank and all this stuff. Like he make a great investment. So you bring that to the basketball court. I mean, going to franchises where you have everything around you. He had Jason Kidd. He had Steve Nash. Michael Finley, who was a dog at shooting guard. He always had a good center next to him, or not good, but I'd say like a defender center who can rebound, dunk, stuff like that, do the dirty work for Dirk Nowitzki. Always had he had Sean Marion one time. He had Josh Howard. Like these are guys that do the dirty work. He didn't have to do it. And with Davis, he never had that. He had the time he had Boogie Cousins. They was in the playoffs, and Boogie got hurt, and they still swept somebody. The Drew Holiday was on the rise. If Drew Holiday and Boogie could stay together and not get hurt, we're talking about the Pelicans being one of the best teams in the NBA because of Davis, because of Holiday, because of Boogie. When you don't have that, it's hard to be the guy, especially when you're a power forward. So I'm shooting all day long, man. Give me Anthony Davis.
Yeah, something else that you mentioned all of it, but another thing too is the draft picks. I mean, the Pelicans, they weren't hitting on draft picks like that. They weren't hitting on trades, stuff like that. The Mark Cuban had Donnie Nelson as a GM. You had Rick Carlisle as your coach. You had Avery Johnson as your coach. Don Nelson as your coach. Dirk has had great coaches. You mentioned great teammates: Devin Harris, Roddy Vogel, Marion, Tyson Chandler, all those guys throughout his career. And hypothetically, we're kind of going hypothetical, but if Nash isn't on the Mavs with Dirk probably flames out because they both have said Nash was key in Dirk's transition from Germany to the pros. Like, right. As far as like just having a friend, a confidant, somebody to help you, with the English and get around and do stuff like that. So if Dirk, let's say Dirk is drafted to New Orleans and AD is drafted to Dallas, I don't think Dirk's career goes how it goes.
Oh, definitely not. Not especially not being a guy, because New Orleans, you need a guy who do everything. That's why Zion's gonna be great, because he can do everything. Dirk, one side of the ball. Hey, I'm a value the two-way star every time.
And then just the culture of the city too, like the Dallas culture, New Orleans culture, that totally plays a part in your success too.
Totally different, right? Shoot a pass on this one. Giannis will be a Golden State Warrior.
Hey, before we even get into the Giannis thing, man, dude was hacked today.
Somebody told him up today. They told him up today. Man said Chris Middleton trash.
Man, they were on him bad. Like, man, those tweets, and you had access to his bank account and everything. Ooh,
Giannis, sorry, Giannis.
but look, when they get caught, they're gonna be in trouble. Trouble.
Done.
But I don't believe he'll be a Warrior though. I don't believe that. I'm not buying that. The main reason is I don't see what the trade package is. Of course, everybody thinks Warriors get number one pick, but people forgetting this is not the NFL. They have a lottery. There's not a guarantee they get the number one pick.
Right.
So I mean, they could get the third pick. Do the Bucks really want the third pick? If you do get the third pick, what you gonna do with it?
I don't know who they're gonna get. Like,
yeah. Do you want LaMelo Ball? Do you want Edwards? Do you want Wiseman? Then of course, since you're not first, you can't dictate the board.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second part of that is, like, again, what is the trade package?
Because you're not gonna give me Clay.
Because like you got to put together two contracts, because Giannis gonna want to sign or do a max sign and trade.
Right.
So now, okay, do you get Draymond and Clay, Draymond and Wiggins, Clay and Wiggins? Like, what do you get? Because I don't think you want to put Draymond and Giannis together on the Warriors, because neither one of them can shoot.
Hey, and unite, and as a Buck, if we're not gonna like play, if I can't go get a bucket with somebody, we're gonna outshoot you with Klay Thompson and Middleton on the side, and let's say LaMelo Ball is a point guard. Like we gonna outshoot y'all. So you're not gonna trade Klay to me if I'm thinking of a Bucks GM. Like, you're not gonna trade Klay. So why would I want Draymond?
And then it's like, why would you want Wiggins and Draymond together? Because all you're doing now is taking.
Still can't shoot.
Yeah, it's like, and like then Wiggins gonna be out of position then, because now you got to move Middleton from the 3 to the 2, or Wiggins. You got to do something with all of that, unless you're gonna say, all right, Wiggins, you 6th man, we're gonna go draft Anthony Edwards to play our 2, in the backcourt with Brock. Then like, what happened with Bledsoe? So like, it's just, I don't even see a trade being worked out with all that.
Ain't no trade. Out passing all day long. They can talk about Giannis all they want. I'm here to tell you right now, Giannis is not going to save you. You already got saved once. Yeah, I'm looking at the light skinned brothers over there. Shout out to them and Draymond. I'm looking at y'all. Kevin Durant already saved you once. You don't get 2 saves in life. You don't get it again. Your career cannot be predicated around having a better superstar on your team and having them to get you championships. I'm sorry. You can't do it. Don't do it.
I mean, yeah, I'm trying to think of like
You can't.
what could be the organization that would potentially land Giannis, because like the Heat have that winning pedigree with Pat Riley, with like at least that culture already in place with Dwayne Wade, stuff like that. So that's why LeBron took that leap. KD wanted to play with guys who could complement his game more. The Warriors were on the rise. Steve Kerr, good pedigree. In 2016, 2017. Of course, the last decade or so has been dominated by technology. So KD goes to the Bay Area where all the tech stuff is. So he saw the team aspect and the brand aspect. So he went there. I'm trying to think of who could be the next team. Like, where would Giannis want to see himself? See himself going as like, all right, I can go build my brand here. Like, is it a Dallas with Porzingis and Doncic, or
I don't think
like
you do that. I see this thing that people are missing. This
like, is it a Houston? Like, I'm trying to see like what's the place he going to put his stamp on his brand.
Look at history. What is Giannis? He's from Greece, European basketball. Name the players who are great from Europe or whatever country they're from that leaves the team that's built around them. Dirk.
No, they
talked about Dirk.
Tony Parker.
Even Tony Kukoc, who was part of the offense. He's not going to leave Chicago. Like, he going back. If he leaves, he's going back. Jokic in Denver. He's never going to leave Denver. We talk about Giannis. Like, Paul Gasol, he only left because he went to a better situation with Kobe, and he was going to stay there forever until, obviously Chris Paul. That's a different story, But you get what I'm saying? Like, it's hard for a team to build around an international player, and they lead the team voluntarily, should I say?
Yeah, like European guys, it's just a culture thing. Like, those European guys, they're pretty loyal to where they go.
Exactly.
They spent their whole time playing for their country and stuff like that. So, we forgot Mark Gasol. He's gonna stay. He's gonna stay in Memphis forever.
Well, I'm saying it gotta be voluntary. He's not gonna leave on his own.
Yeah, like they gotta get traded. Like you said, Powell went from Memphis to Lakers. He would have stayed there forever.
And they traded.
At least went to so he got a chance to go play for the Spurs for a little bit. Got some money on the back end and stuff like that. But yeah, those guys they don't leave. Like Rubio, he got traded. It's like, if you don't get traded, you're not gonna go sign somewhere else.
And on top of, like, you see guys like the Bellinellis go back and forth a lot because the team's not built around him. We've seen Mirotic go back because he won the ball. He's not good enough. So we've seen stuff like that. And then one thing you also want to point to is I just had it on tip of my tongue. Oh, Eunice, best player, go to finals. Like, we talk about the Warriors said they can get a chance because he might not make the finals, blah blah. All I see is LeBron make it no matter what. Kawhi made it because he's the best player in the East. And now Giannis. I mean, whether you say Boston can beat them, Sixers can beat them, I gotta see it happen. I'm gonna ride with the best player in the East.
Yeah, for the most part, if you're the best player in the East, you're gonna make the finals. I mean, and that's kind of improving over the last 20 years because
Jordan,
those those 90s, Mike was the man. They won all throughout the 90s, then the 2000s. Look at those years.
80s.
Yeah, Bird, and then the Bad Boy Pistons. Then you had the Moses and Dr. J years, and then you look at like those 2000s. It kind of seemed like a revolving door, but it really wasn't because the Pistons were always the roadblock because they kept their team consistent.
Right.
So, but they were beaten by the team that had the better player, D Wade,
06,
LeBron,
right?
And then of course the Celtics were another better team, and then you had that happen. You had that year Dwight Howard was an MVP candidate,
right?
And then of course it's LeBron, King James. We are witnesses, whatever we're gonna call you, whatever we're gonna call LeBron. Yeah. And then of course the Kawhi one. AI made it those years to the next man. Jason Kidd was the best player in the East. So, it's always the best player in the East. And then you have those few outliers where it's the best team like that the 2 years the Pistons made it in the Celtics. But that's pretty much it.
Right.
We said Kawhi. So right now it's Giannis' turn.
They had the best record in the league.
He could run the East if he wanted to.
Like this whole notion about the Warriors got a chance because they might not make the finals. You just making it up. I mean, you don't know. Like, if I'm a betting man, I'm gonna take the. There's a reason why they got the most. The odds are most against them because they're the favorites. So I don't know. I'm passing all that all day long.
And hopefully Kevin Durant does not have to come back during this COVID stuff. KD, please rest your Achilles and come back for the next season.
Right.
Don't do it this time, man. I don't
exactly.
want to see you go out bad and get hurt, man. I'm trying to see you back 25, 27 out here getting it. Buckets.
All right, so a little bit of last dance talk with the last 4 minutes we got left. So they showed the 93 series, Phoenix versus the Bulls, and we talked about how big shots from Paxson. Barkley said they wasn't ready game one. Dan Riley out of getting cooked. For whatever reason, Michael Jordan thought because Krause liked him that means he's close to Michael Jordan. I don't know. I feel like Jordan made it his own anger. But anyway,
got to.
Pat,
go.
Yeah, pass or shoot. Suns win game 7 if Paxson misses in game 6.
No, because it shouldn't even got where it got to because they already had the lead, and if that other game didn't go to freaking overtime, they could have probably got swept. So, I mean, it depends on how you look at it, but no, the series shouldn't even went how it went. They were up 2-0, and they really should have won the third game. It went to a couple overtime, so if they win the third game, of course, in the fourth game, I think they would, and they'd have been so down emotionally, they wouldn't even been up for the game. So the Bulls would have got them out there in 4 or 5, but
it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to win on the road.
No, the series shouldn't even been how it was. I mean, it shouldn't even got to 6.
So you're saying game 7 because Paxson. That's just hypothetical. Paxson misses. Oh, he missed. Suns win game 6. We heading in game 7. The three-peat where they won game 5 the first time, won in 6 against the Blazers. Here we are, game 7 with the MVP Charles Barkley versus at the time the best player in the game, Michael Jordan. Game 7, but you gotta think a team like the Suns, who,
Dan Marley's not no Mike stopper. Mike is just too good.
Hey, bro, you got the Suns hat on right now because Charles Barkley would have been a champion in game 7. Mike would have died shooting the ball. You see it. You see it in a game 6. He kept shooting, trying to win the game. Yeah. I get Charles Barkley would have went crazy though. Like he would have put on a show to take it from Michael because like you said, he said if you lose to Michael, he's gonna let you hit the end of it. he gonna let you hit it. He won't let you hit it. I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of moments in that last dance. You're like, dang, the Knicks was up 2-0. And that's 2-2. Come on, you got a chance to go beat Jordan, and you can't do it. Can't close. And I mean, they left Paxson open for a reason. I mean, he's a shooter, but it's like, I mean, if it ain't Jordan, we got a chance. So
I mean, but it happens all the time. Like look at what happened this past year. Bucks up 2-0, Raptors storm back. So it happens, man. Like those teams got to be able to close. And then Charles Smith couldn't even make the layup. They were harassing the heck out of him down there. For the Knicks.
better shot, real quick. Better shot. Paxson, game 6, 93. Or Ray Allen. When Chris Bosh to Ray Allen for the 3 to force a game 7.
Oh, Paxson's the better shot. I mean, people gonna say Ray Allen because of what happened, but I mean, the Paxson shot actually won the game.
I was going with that too.
Yeah, like the Ray Allen shot. It took, man.
A lucky bounce.
If you do a simulation 1,000 times, that outcome only happened at one time. Like the way the rebound came off
right to him. Yeah,
Bosh get it. Ray Allen backpedals at that speed to get just enough behind the line. To catch it right in the pocket and get the shot off and nail it. Swish. Oh man, you can see that 1,000 times. It only happened at one time.
That's funny. All right, well, the NFL schedule is getting ready to be released. They have a 3-hour show I guess that started at 6, going to 8. I hope they ain't starting at 8. That's 11 o'clock. But that's it for Preach Care Preach with Rashad. We are the Prophets, and we catch y'all next week.
Mile High City, let's go Broncos.
I'm gonna place my bet right now.